nothing like the experience of a live concert, and it's something we don't get to really get to as much as we could. Obviously, the big shows come to town every so often, and if you're lucky, you get tickets, score. Otherwise, how do you connect to music really in that epic standard? Headphones are getting better, but it's this sort of personal feeling inside the train, bus, doing the dishes. It's really not that engaging. Whereas, of course, for dedicated space for delivering big time epic scale music, that's where you're going to want to be. And it really doesn't exist unless maybe you have something like this room, your very own cinema at home. The home cinemas are indeed epic sound systems. They are carefully crafted rooms to ensure that the atmosphere, the acoustics, and the environment actually delivers that clarity, the immersion, and of course the impact that not just real life cinematic sound is trying to achieve, but also that of concerts and music. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the application, the use scenario of music in home theaters. Now, a misconception is that a home theater or surround sound system doesn't sound very good for music. Now, that may have occurred or come about when cheaper parts, low quality processors, bad room environments, or worse, poorly configured and connected systems really kind of meant that surround sound effects would happen and you'd kind of get away with okay surround sound. But when you play music through a sound system, there's really nowhere to hide. You know, we know what the vocals can sound like. We know what guitars sound like. We know what the atmosphere of a live show really feels like, whereas we don't know what inside the Death Star really feels like. So we're able to really attune ourselves to how good the experience really is, how it really makes us feel. And therefore, surround sound systems which were poorly executed really showed up as not so good for music. Well, when it's done right, the musical experience is on a scale that two speakers very, very rarely can achieve. So with a two-speaker system, you rely even more so on the careful placement, delicate setup, acoustic, power, the atmosphere, and all of that for just one seat. See, once you're out of the sweet spot, you really lose a lot of the dynamic, the focus, and the clarity. Whereas with surround sound, of course, you can have a large range of listeners immersed inside all of the speakers. So in this room, we've got quite a few levels of system. All of that give us the good expression of music. And of course, the further and bigger that you go, the more epic in scale it's going to be. So this system, indeed, it has the true experience of live music. And we've been playing a range of live concerts here, as well as even YouTube streams. So let's talk about where your music can come from. And also, more importantly, for the big news is how are they actually delivered and recorded and delivered to home. So we've got a Blu-ray, sort of DVD Blu-ray in the player right now. That's a beautiful Eagle music recording, and that was a special production captured live at Ronnie Scott's. What I love about these concerts is, you're capturing the room environment as well. So you really get the presence of actually being there. I love these close mic'd, close intimate spaces. Super cool. Now this is well over a decade old, this disc. The recording is excellent, and in fact it's really the mixers and the recording engineers are going to dictate just how awesome the sound is, which means really the delivery platform isn't the be all and end all. That is, we can stream from, say, YouTube music. I know this is one I do a lot and a lot of our clients do as well. YouTube music. In fact, a lot of bands over COVID would do live shows, no audience, direct to YouTube. And these like street bands rocking out. There's some amazing solo artists doing live looping. They upload that to YouTube, and that stream, that stereo stream, two speakers, sounds really good because it's beautifully nurtured and the dynamic range is there. Now, a little Apple TV YouTube player isn't quite like an Epic record player or an Epic DAC and fancy hi-fi equipment. But the reality is, how else do you get to experience that artist? You don't get to buy the fancy record for that artist. They recorded it, it was live, they've put it out there, and you can enjoy it at home. In fact, you can enjoy it at home in your cinema room in a style that was actually never even available at the start. That is, if you're there at the side of the street watching the busker do his thing, he's got this little amplifier and he's jamming out, and you get the environment and the atmosphere, though you don't actually get to play it as loud and clear as what that recording could actually deliver back in your own home. So it's actually, you're kind of in the best seat in the house when you're actually watching the recording. So YouTube streams, that comes in as stereo, and the surround sound system can then expand that sound out to all of the speakers. So in this room, we have 3 at the front, 2 on the sides, 2 at the back, 4 on the ceiling, 5 subwoofers, including the big one here, and they've been all carefully coordinated, mapped out, and calibrated so it's optimized for the seat, so you can get that spaciousness and that environment even from a street busking band. In fact, it's really cool. I remember one of the Big Push is a really cool one. I shot the Sheriff, and you can hear people chit-chatting as they're standing around the band in the effects speakers while the band's presenting from the front stage. And this is a stereo recording, and it was a little probably DJI, camera thing, and yet all of that environment atmosphere was captured and actually reproduced without even going through a big immersive audio studio. So we can really get a sense of some amazing art and artists, these music artists, through all sorts of means. So YouTube, Blu-ray, and then let's check out some of the latest stuff as well. Now this is super cool. Blast from the past. So I loved this band growing up, INXS, West Australian band, mind you. So hello from WA. We'll claim anything we can get, right? Huge mega band. I was not available to get to Wembley Stadium at the age of 13 years of age, and nor did millions of other people that would have loved to have been there. Now, when this released, we would have been watching on a 68 centimeter TV, if you had a really big one back then, through stereo, through videotape. You just would have never got what it would have been like to be in this concert unless you were there. Now, since then, it's been released, remastered, and now on 4K Ultra Blu-ray, high dynamic range, remastered, not just multi-channel, but in Dolby Atmos surround sound. And this thing is spectacular. In fact, you see the sweat on their face. You see the expression. You see the cheekiness of Michael Hutchence rocking out. You go, wow. Like, wow. You get the emotion. You get that full connection of actually being there at this live show. Now, this show is come and gone. It's never going to happen again. We're so lucky it was captured in the first place. Remastered now at home. Wow. Like, unless a big commercial cinema like an IMAX plays this, then you're not going to know what this concert has ever felt like unless you get to, fortunately, it's available to experience in an epic soundstage. So in a home cinema, this content it's actually breathtaking, because I never knew this artist had this expression. I never knew what this really felt like until you see it on the big screen, and when the sound is pumping and rocking and loud, just like it would have been there at the concert. So very, 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 very cool. We're capturing moments in history which don't need to be lost. Then the experience is not lost, but we do need the right system, the right room to actually land. So this is really cool. Over here, Imagine Dragons, a new band. That one's in Dolby Atmos on Blu-ray. That one's in high definition. Very, very cool recording as well. Over here, Hans Zimmer. It's actually the live in Prague one that I actually prefer, but there's a number of discs out on this. Exceptional recording. Of course, Hans Zimmer is the composer of some epic soundtracks, often showing up in Christopher Nolan's work, Batman series, a few other big ones like Blade Runner 2049. That is a loud movie. Massive composition of sound. Pirates of the Caribbean. So he's in a live show recording, or rather playing back, some of these epic cinematic releases. Gladiator, another huge one. A lot of people so touched by that. In fact, we have people in tears often, so moved by the emotion of music in these rooms. So the live show is amazing. And again, it's like Dolby Atmos sound, the clarity is there, and the scale of sound. I don't think I've gone much louder than the Hans Zimmer. Although maybe there's one that contends that bit further, which is the Metallica Through the Never. This is really interesting. So this is a movie, a directed movie. However, it's a movie of them in concert, and it's of a roadie that's on a bit of a mission. So it is a feature film based around a concert, and it's massive scale. And the kick drum, my gosh, this thing is crazy. In fact, yeah, we got a sound system that will play louder than probably what we're prepared to put up with. You know, you go 3 or 4 songs in and you're like, it's literally, it's so energetic. It is so energetic that it takes some energy. You know, when you go to a live show, you're pumped up, and that's what these things do. So this one's really cool. Now, this particular disc is not in the Dolby Atmos format. It's in the DTS-HD high resolution soundtrack, and it sounds mental. And yes, the Dolby Atmos sound system will upscale that and present that audio through all of the speakers, including the speakers overhead. So that is a killer. In the middle here, Rolling Stones, brand new album. They haven't had one out for over a decade. Can you believe they're all actually still alive? And one of the songs in here, collaboration with Lady Gaga, absolutely beautiful. Brand new studio recording of an album, not just in stereo, but also, again, Dolby Atmos surround sound. Now, you can stream Dolby Atmos through like the Apple TV. You can play music through whichever source you prefer, Apple TV, maybe a special music streamer, maybe a CD player. But to get Dolby Atmos in its very, very best, highest resolution format, you're going to want the disc. So that's on Blu-ray, on Ultra Blu-ray, or even on these new audio releases. There's a disc in there, dedicated audio with the Atmos disc soundtrack encoded on there as well. Absolutely stunning. So music in a home cinema, does it play really well? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you haven't heard magic in a surround sound system, then something was done wrong. Do we get good access to music and content? Absolutely. Everything that's ever been recorded before, of course, will play through your sound system at home. And then some. You get these amazing multi-channel surround sound and even Dolby Atmos soundtracks that take it to a whole other level. I've been to plenty of live music in the past, and not always has it been as good as what I actually get in the home cinema. So music opening up a whole new world of entertainment. I know if I get stuck in here late at night, it's usually because I'm playing track for track for track, and it's truly inspiring as you get into that. Hope that's been of great value. You enjoy some of the insights as to how we enjoy our cinema spaces, and how a lot of our clients are giving us feedback that sometimes 30, 40, 50, even 60% of their enjoyment is actually through music, and going down that rabbit hole of YouTube as well. So for more inspiration and education, check out our website, our YouTube. Remember to subscribe, find out more on how you can get more out of your home theater. If you're looking to design and build, definitely reach out, because there's no better time than planning than yesterday. All right, we'll see you next time.